Oh, look at that. That seems to be working. Whatever, we'll see how we go. So, there we go. Oops. Let's get out of here. Let's not drop this thing. Hopefully that's working. Well, here we are on the 23rd of December 2023, and I'm on. Oh, that's cold. Oh, drafty. I'll put the other gloves back on. And I'm on another 1290 Super Adventure. Trying again. I can't resist the draw of the orange brand, so I just thought I'd have another go, and I haven't done up this jacket, have I? Which is why I'm getting the right breeze down my neck. Let's try getting that done up. There we go, that's better. Where was I? Oh yes, I was so most people won't even be aware at all of the fact that I purchased a brand new 1290 2023 in September. Actually, there's a video that I've got that I've been editing forever, which was my trip to Slovakia on my Transal, which talks all about the detail of it really. But essentially, brought it 6 days later, oil pressure problem, rejected it. Moved on with my life, decided I wasn't going to get another one, replace it. And then I've basically spent October, November, and of course most of December just watching the prices of them. You know, seeing what's available second hand, just mulling over whether I really do or don't want. Well, I do want one, it's whether I really did or didn't want to spend the money on one. You know, I have no regrets about the one that I had before it shit itself. But yeah, I've finally decided to do the deed again. Or that really annoying thing that our friends in the States say is pulled the trigger. Ugh. Horrible phrase. Horrible phrase. Anyway, so I have brought what I think was a pretty good bargain. Not bargain, nothing that costs this much money is a bargain. A good deal. X-Demo, 23 plate X-Demo. Registered in August, just 250 miles on the clock. So hasn't even had its first service yet. And I paid 12.5 for it. So I think in the current market of prices of big adventure bikes seemingly going through the roof, you know, by the time you put the bits and pieces on that you want, you're well into 20 grand. I think that represents good value for money. Of course, it's only good value for money if it if it hangs together and doesn't have any faults, which I'm sure it won't. Please say it won't. Yeah, so I've still got the Transal. It's a bit of a squeeze in the garage at the moment. It's okay. This was delivered on Wednesday. I just took it out for a very quick spin. Make sure the whole thing was all hanging together properly. And I thought I'd come out for a quick blast today. I've just come from my gaff in Solihull, went to Stratford, cup of tea at the Touchdown Cafe, and now I'm just heading back. Just got to go chop up a load of wood from a massive tree that fell in my garden. the other day from our neighbours. Anyway, so yeah, so far, somewhat unsurprisingly, absolutely no regrets. I mean, like I say, I'm such a terrible whore for the orange brand that just sat here, just this orange in front of me is just lovely. Yeah, pretty pathetic, pretty shallow. It's and wandering across the road, not looking where you're going, Dana. Jesus. It's all good. And I've resisted doing any. I haven't made any mods to it. I brought a Ghibli top box for it. Some good deals on those on Sports Watch Shop at the moment. Like £260 for the box. And then rather disappointed, another £140 just for the mounting kit, which seemed a bit excessive considering the price of the box. But it's like £400 all in for mounting the box with locks, etc. Which is, you know, less than the top box, the KTM top box, just on its own without any other mountings. So, like most people, I don't like top boxes, but I do like the top boxes. Although I like the practicality of the top box. They're so useful. They're so useful. I mean, I probably won't have it on most of the time, but there's times when you do like one. Go top box for securing stuff and roll top thrown over the back seat. Job done. I think I need to put the heated grips on. Just cool. I haven't even set up the favourites on this yet. So, one thing I have done is I've got some screen protectors. I bought a pack of 3 when I had the previous 1290 that went back, and I'll throw one of those on, you know, solid law. You don't do it and you scratch the screen. And to say that I've made an absolute pig's ear of it would be some underestimation. The bubbles looks absolutely horrendous. I'm sure you, even if I poked the 360 at it now, you wouldn't really be able to see it. Would it? Just tempted to just rip the thing off right now, but we'll leave it for now. Yeah, what is it now? 12 degrees, quite mild actually, a couple of days before Christmas. Not too bad. I'll put the, I've shifted over the wireless quad lock from the Transalp onto this just for now, and I haven't got it wired. I'm just using a USB into the flag port for charging. So, yeah, this thing is so nice. I do like me that 1290 lump. No idea how the audio is going to sound on this. I've got if I post this to YouTube, and when I post it, or the order of things that I post in, I've been editing forever footage, 360 footage from my trip to Slovakia to meet my son in September. A trip that I was supposed to have been doing on the other 1290, but that failed a couple of days before, so I went on the Transalp, which, as I called it, my little adventure shopping bike, and it did really well, really well. So let's just figure out where we're going here first. Shall I go up there and 40, or shall I just... No, let's go about the scenic route. Why would I want to go around the motorway? That would just be silly. M40, Coventry and Warwick. Go about the scenic route. It's so smooth on the throttle, this thing is, in comparison. So I've still got the Transal, and I like that bike, and I don't. It's sort of almost a little bit too similar to this, obviously a much smaller version of it, you know, it is very different, but probably doesn't make much sense to keep it, but I like it. It's a good bike, and having bought it brand new, if I sold it now, you know, I'd probably take a fairly big hit on it. I mean, I've only had it obviously 3 months, but I've already done 4,000 miles on it. Obviously a lot of that was honestly not good at that. But yeah, this is just, again, I'm going to keep saying it, as long as it hangs together and it doesn't shit itself. Another level of refinement this is in comparison to the Transal. You can feel that the Transal is, it's a cracker bike. You sort of see it's built to a budget. All bikes built to a budget, of course, but this just feels like you're getting a lot more bike. I'm really on talking shite, aren't I? Because you are getting a lot more bike for your money. Maybe someone out there will know what I mean. It's, the quality of the components on the Transal is, that's Honda. You can tell that there's some cost going on there behind the screen. It's got a couple of scratches on it, and you know it's very cheap, not cheap, but soft. Sort of, there's the cylinder's got like the looking up cylinder ribbons in it. Footpegs and stuff like that. But again, though, you know, mega bike. You know, it's a Honda. You know, everything is just where it needs to be, and there's a good argument for the benefit of that. At no point when I was away for 10 days on that did I think, oh, I wonder if it's going to start. I wonder if I'm going to see any warning lights. I wonder if it's going to yada yada yada. You know, it just gets on with it, doesn't it? So, but hopefully this will, because in fairness, prior to buying the Adventure, I had a 2020 Super Duke GT. That was faultless for 3 years. I did 11,000 miles on that. 3 years, and it was absolutely fine. Prior to that, I had a Super Duke R, 2018 for a couple of years, and again, no problems with it, none at all. So, we'll see. I think where's the car? Here we are. I'm doing that thing though. I'm back to keyless. I'm padding pockets to see where the key is. Padding pockets to see where the key is. I brought on chuffed, really chuffed with this purchase, and just gotta get out and about on it as and when I can. Well, I got 293 miles right now, so 300 miles before the first service can be done. I bought the bike from a place called, it was called CSS Bikes down in Bracknell. They've just rebranded themselves as Bike Sport Global. Yeah, I might sort of toying with the idea of doing the last 100 miles as a single run down there to get it serviced by them. I know it doesn't need to be serviced by the place that I bought it from, but if I can see a decent weather window to get it booked in and then get it down there, then I might do that. You know, the last thing I want to do is book it in a week with a week's notice and then find that day that I'm going down it's pouring with rain or icy. So we'll see. Play by ear. Usually, I've never bought a bike in the winter actually. It's really weird actually because I you know, I've long since turned into a, certainly working from home, I've turned into a fair weather bike. And I used to always ride all year round and commute on a bike, but I've since, what am I doing? I'm going to get it up like an idiot. It comes sort of generally for the last sort of few years, you know, working from home all the time. Come October, November, like the bike gets covered up in the garage and I don't think about it again and we'll look at it until March, April. And I thought that's what I'd be like having returned the other 12 months. I thought no point having it and never use it, but for some reason I've sort of maintained quite a high interest in bikes throughout, you know, right until this point, throughout winter really. So obviously when you're looking for a new bike, you know, that increases your interest. But yeah, don't know, what am I talking about? Just waffling now, aren't I? Yeah. But yeah, that was the point I was going to make, was that generally, whenever I've bought bikes in the past, I've always bought them in the summer. And I'm one of these that I'll buy it, if I buy a new bike, I'll book it in a week later for the first service, because I know that I'm going to do 600 miles in the first week on it, because I just get out on them all the time, you know. It's a novelty, isn't it? A new bike. So, let's try this, what's this active cruise. Yeah, that's nice. I do like that. And I'm not talking just about the active cruise actually. What I am talking about is the fact that you can use the quick shifter with cruise on and it doesn't turn the cruise control off. Which is pretty cool. I do like this. I mean, I'm a big fan of cruise control anyway. You know, it's one thing I hate about the Trans Alp is the fact that it doesn't have cruise control. You know, I don't care about the fact that there'll be a justification for the fact that it would have taken sales away from the Africa Twin. Whatever, that's of no concern to me. It's just, it really could have done. It would have been a significantly better bike for having it. But anyway, it doesn't have it. Deal with it. It was a pain in the arse on my Europe trip, even though I had one of those throttle locks. But yeah, this active cruise, I mean, yeah, it's brilliant. I know, like I see a lot of people on YouTube, they're like, oh, I couldn't care less about it, you know, and whatever, each to their own, you know. For some people, they want it, some don't, but I think it's great. With the other one, I fairly quickly learned with it that with standard cruise control, you set the speed to the speed that you want to cruise at. So if you're in a 50 and you know you go, right, well I'll set it to 50. But what I've found is that with the active, I think the idea is that you don't set it to the speed that you want to cruise at. If there's traffic in front of you, obviously, if there's no traffic in front of you, then this isn't really relevant. But if you're in traffic and you're using that active cruise, I find that what you do is you set the cruise to the maximum speed that you're willing to travel at, and then just let the radar take care of it. You know, so if the car in front of you is doing 60, you know, if you set it to 70, well, you're only going to do 60. But if you start off at 50 and you set it at 50, then you're just going to back off from that person. You're not going to track them. So set it to what the maximum speed you're willing to do on that piece of road. And then even if they speed up, you go with them. You don't have to think about it. I know that very thing of not having to think about it is exactly what turns a lot of people off. I think it disengages them from the bike. And it does when you want to ride the bike yourself, but sometimes all you want to do is just get from one place to the next. Or like me, if you've got a knackered shoulder and you want to just stretch out a bit, I think it's brilliant for that. Usually at this point I'll be turning off and going down some of the back roads, but being an absolute tart, I don't want to do it filthy. I've already done it filthy on the quick run. I took it out on Wednesday and I spent ages cleaning it. get a rather bizarre enjoyment from trading bikes. Why? But yeah, there you go. So that's me back on a 1290 again, and positive thinking. This one's going to hang together. It's going to be trouble free and give me lots of enjoyment over the next few years at least. Hopefully this video will make sense if I've finally posted my Slovakia video at some point. And, let's get a more powerful PC, because DaVinci Resolve on my laptop really can't deal with Insta360 footage. So yeah. Oh no, we don't want that one, do we? Oh, that's the resume. Oh, that was wrong. Yeah, we don't want that. Oh, I get it. That'll resume, and that one will bring you. That one will give you what you're doing. The other one. So plus resume on the. It's got a res on the button. That'll go back to whatever your last speed was if you just click plus. If the cruise is pending, active, whatever you want to call it. Or the back one will set it to the current speed that you're doing. So yeah, if your last cruise speed was 55 and you go into a 30 and hit the resume button, don't do that, because you'll just start accelerating up to 55 miles an hour. At this point, I'm sure I've just given a whole load of people that don't like cruise control an argument against it. Anyway, it is what it is. Are you going to pull out on me? You're going to sit there for like just wait and then pull out like me? No, sorry. Jolly good. Christmas shopping traffic now. I'm sure this is completely irrelevant to anyone, because anyone that lives around this area will know it, and anyone that doesn't live around this area won't care about it, because it doesn't really go anywhere other than into Solihull. So yeah, coming from Stratford past Hatton Locks through little village, town, it's village, isn't it? High Street. Town of Knoll, just up ahead. Pub with I'm sure some Wokies will dislike the name of that pub with that boy. Failing to understand the historic etymology. Does etymology is the history of a word? What's the does etymology also cover the history of a name, a phrase? I don't know. Yeah. Random ramblings. Grand Union Canal runs along here. In fact, we'll be going over it in a second. Into Knoll, out the other side of Knoll, past the Lady Byron Road, which is the equivalent of Millionaire's Row around here. Home to such notable celebrities as Alison Hammond. Is it Alison Hammond? Yeah, it is, isn't it? The one off Big Brother and This Morning and all that sort of garbage. ironically, I've never made this connection before, but we've also got, oh God, what's his name? Hamster, the dude from Top Gear, who was also born in, I'm not sure he was born in Solihull, but he was born in Solihull, I think. Jesus, Darren, stop talking, you boring, boring person. Pick an indicator, mate. How long have I been waffling for now? 23 minutes. Wow. It's quite bizarre how much crap I can talk when I'm left on my own. So yeah, there we go. I keep saying this like I'm going to turn the video off, and then I'm not turning it off, am I? I mean, there's no reason for me to turn it off, really, and I'm only doing this for my own benefit. I might as well just leave it on and waffle away. Oh, I still need to... Anything else I need to talk about? Yeah. Oh, I've got a... I mean, the other bits and pieces I've got that I'm going to be adding back onto this bike that came off the other one. So I've got a Touratech bracket that goes over the clocks for the sat-nav. Worked really well, that did. Also, I've seen loads of people wire that into a switched live down behind the panels down on the right hand side, which necessitates what feels like stripping half the bike apart on that side. You know, I mean, I know once you've done it once, it's straightforward, but it's an awful lot of work just to get to a switch live, when actually, if you really just want a switch, you know, there's a switch live under the seat. So what we've got to do, which is what I'd done before, although I ended up going with the Thunderbox, is remove this cubby hole, little cubby hole thing, whatever we're going to call it, and remove this panel, and you can just run the wires down through down the side of the petrol tank, which is what I did before. There's a switch live at the back, or I've got another Heeltech Thunderbox, which I've got one of those on the Transalp as well, and I think that's actually better than a switch live, because it doesn't provide power. This is null, by the way. It doesn't provide power until it sees a stable voltage on the battery. Now, I know you're delivering parcels, mate, and I know it's awkward for you, but Jesus Christ, I mean, like, literally dumping it there, blocking people coming out of the pedestrian crossing is a bit daft. I think you put it this side of the crossing, you give. Mr. Amazon, man. Anyway. Yeah, so, yeah, I get that plumbed in, but, you know, I mean, this is how daft I am. I'm so nervous about this one going wrong that I'm literally scared to even plumb anything into the battery. But I put a you know, one of those SAE flying leads on it, just for the heated gear when it's running, and the Optimate. Of course, there's arguments for and against Optimates as well. I never know what should or shouldn't do with them, but what I do know for definite is I'll be getting a new battery for it. I'm not messing around. That was the only problem that I had with the GT, actually, and I'm not going to say it's a problem that, well, yeah, I mean, the bike was 3 years old, so that's fair enough. But as everybody knows, you'll hear over and over again, these bikes with all the electronics are incredibly sensitive to low voltage battery on the battery. The moment the battery's not holding a charge, a good charge, you're going to struggle. You're going to start seeing warnings and errors and stuff. I got that on the GT, but that's the battery, and it was fine. And it started, you know, you see it originally starts with it's slow to crank over. I mean, these things are such big lumps anyway, you know, this 1290. They're always really difficult to turn over anyway. You need really good CCA, cold cranking amps. You need a really healthy battery to keep one of these things ticking over properly. Is my experience and what I've read online. Hey, I read it online, it must be true. Yeah. I always get nervous when that thing. I just looked at the camera and it's showing, well, it's only been recording for a minute, but of course I think what happens is when you get to 30 minutes, it's sat here, here's some of the pot, there's a nice one there, there's a nice gap over there on the right, and this is Lady Byron, even more posher one down there. Which actually, I'm going to admit, the houses down there aren't that flashy actually. Some of them are pretty big. Yeah. There's one down there that was clearly built, well, I generalise a bit now, but you know, I put money on it, it was built by a footballer, more specifically by his wife. Designed, not built by, obviously, designed. It was just a horse boudoir. Hideous it was. What was it, huh? 20 to 1. Yeah, I suppose that'll do for now. I guess we're going to have to go and cut up some logs and burn some wood. This enormous tree that fell across our garden. I don't know if it did completely take out the greenness, I don't know. Took out a few panels, but never mind. And of course the neighbours have been round to rectify the problem. No, they haven't. Not a word. So, sort it out yourself, Dan. Family went there yesterday with the loppers, man, the wife cutting off massive branches and waiting for the whole trunk that's about, good God, 12-inch thick to drop on us because we were resting in our apple tree. Got most of it off safely. Got down to the point where it was resting on the holly tree on the other side, and then a family friend come round this morning with a chainsaw, and then we had at it. But I've now got about half a massive tree at the bottom of my garden that I've got to dispose of. Oh well. Could have been worse. No one was injured and no significant property damage. This is when we had a plum tree that we'd planted with the kids. It was like 3 foot tall when we moved in 15 years ago. Photos of it, and it was a fairly decent sized tree now. It was a nice tree. That's been destroyed, unfortunately. It took most of the brunt of the trunk of it, but yeah, and the apple tree, but that was a bit garish, you know, it needed heavily pruning back, so there you go. I swear to God, if anybody has managed to listen to this waffling right up until now, I mean, fair play. And it sounds to me like you're the kind of person that just listens to random nonsense on YouTube like I do. But all the best, and have a wonderful Christmas, because it's 2 days before now, and a lovely New Year. Although I'm almost certainly, if the weather's going to be like this next week, I'm off work next week. If the weather's like this next week, I will most certainly be back out on this bike doing some pottering around. So yeah, cool. Cheers all.